Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hey, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the Dallas Morning News' food and events editor. We put out an ask for your favorite sandwiches in town, and you did not disappoint. We're also going to tell you about the latest New York restaurant that will soon call Dallas home. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. If you're behind on episodes, make sure to follow Eat, Drink, DFW on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love to hear from you too, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I'm joined by our food writers Sarah Blaskovich and Imelda Garcia. Claire Baller is on parental leave. All right, Sarah, you've got a few things to share.
I do, and I would love to start with pizza. One of my favorite topics in life, I think. Prince Street Pizza, which is a pizza joint that originated in New York City but has expanded to a bunch of cities, is coming to Dallas. Prince Street is also in lots of parts of LA. It's in Vegas, in Miami. You know, Dallas has become one of those cities that joins a list like that. Now, what is Prince Street? It is a slice joint, as the CEO describes it. So you go in, you see 12 pizzas up on the rack, and you kind of point to one and get probably just one slice because they're famous for their Sicilian-style pizzas, which are square and have a thick focaccia-like crust. So really filling. I'm not going to call it drunk pizza, but I'm not going to call it that.
I mean, it is on Henderson Avenue, so it might be drunk pizza.
It seems perfectly positioned, in my opinion, no matter how much you've had to drink, because this is the site of the former Fireside Pies, the original Fireside Pies in Dallas. As we know, Fireside Pies is a great pizza place that expanded to several parts of North Texas, but it got its start on Henderson Avenue, and it opened right after Henderson kind of became this whole dining destination in Dallas. Since then, in the last 20 years or so, the Knox side of Knox Henderson has really become this hotspot, and it's time for Henderson to shine on the east side. So Prince Street will open in place of Fireside Pies, and I just think, you know, one pizza place to another pizza place, that kind of makes sense to me. And the fact that that old restaurant is so small on the inside with a more generous patio means to me that wherever you are, you're kind of walking around going to the bars on Henderson Avenue. You pop in, you have a slice, you keep going.
Let me tell you something that I love about your story, Sarah.
Oh.
Slices cost about $6.50. It's so affordable.
I think that that's the most striking thing about this is that everything on this street is so expensive right now.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's not that it's not good food, but it is one of the cheaper things that you're going to get. I think a lot of Dallasites are going to sit there and say $6.50 for a slice of pizza. They're big old slices for one, but I'm also like, you know, it's cheaper than most places you're going to go, especially now that the Velvet Tacos left that corner slide. I guess you could still go to Dickey's.
Yes. Yeah, great point. And the guy who is now the CEO of Prince Street Pizza says he's kind of the king of quote unquote premium fast food.
What does that even mean?
Great question. I think it's fast food you stand in line for.
Okay.
And we all know that I am intrigued by things you stand in line for. I think some of you might simply hate things you stand in line for. I'm intrigued. If there's a thing that people are going to like convene for, I will join them in order to try to understand the hype. And I do think Prince Street Pizza, when it opens in fall 2025 on Henderson Avenue, I do think it will carry a lot of that stand in line hype. Prince Street did try out doing business in Dallas in 2021. They had a pop-up for 7 days in Deep Ellum. And it was successful enough, and I think there were long enough lines, that the CEO said, okay, we're going to do business in Dallas. And that's how they landed on Henderson.
Shifting gears, there was a place last week that didn't have any lines. And that's because there was a bad online rumor that a restaurant that has been open for 30 years had closed. And it was not true.
That's right, Anna. Pepe's and Mitos, a Tex-Mex place that many of us have loved in Deep Ellum for nearly 31 years. owners. There was a rumor going around that it had closed. And does anybody want to talk about the power of the internet? It is written in pen and not in pencil, as they say in the social network. It affected business immediately. Customers canceled reservations. They didn't come because they thought, well, my favorite family-owned place didn't make it. Like so many other restaurants we've talked about on this podcast in the past 2 months. Here's the deal. It wasn't true. So I called the owners of Pepe's and Mitos, and, we believe somebody went to the wrong storefront, saw some sort of lockout notice, and then posted on Facebook to a neighborhood group of 7,000 people that Pepe's and Mitos was gone.
Oh, no.
I know. And we hopefully were part of the fixing that disinformation problem. And the owners are really grateful. I thought they'd be shy about talking to the Dallas Morning News about this flub. And in fact, they were like, no, we'd love it if you would tell people that we're still here. And we did just that. And a lot of people really seemed to care and then go and patronize this wonderful little taco shop.
I feel like we hear a lot about celebrity death hoaxes from time to time.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine how surreal that would be. But doing it with a restaurant, I'm just worried about it business-wise because the margins are already so tight. So when you've just lost a good 48 hours of business that you weren't forecasting for, that's a little nutty.
It is. And 48 hours sounds so small to most of us. But if we remember way back to the beginning of the pandemic, I wrote a story about how a Fort Worth restaurateur, Chef Tim Love, said 3 days of expected business that turned into zero business could kill a restaurant, period. 3 days. So this was only 48 hours, another 24 hours. And, I'm not saying Pepe's and Mitos was in risk of closing after 3 days, but that just shows, Anna, exactly to your point, this can be devastating.
And this is a good time for a heads up. Next week, we will be talking about COVID. It is the 5-year anniversary of the shutdown across Texas. Governor Abbott put out a state of emergency and things just changed absolutely overnight. And so we're going to talk about the impact that had on local restaurants and local people in the restaurant industry.
Imelda, I'd like some good news. Can you tell us about something new?
I have good news for people who live in Louisville because they have this new place, RT Bakery and Cafe. This is a place where you can find European and French pastries. So they are full of flavor, but they are not very sweet, and that's the good part. This bakery is owned by Tatiana Romanova. She's from Russia, and she's a self-made baker. She said to me, I love bakery, so I watch a lot of YouTube videos over the years. And then she and a friend put a business in their home, but they closed because they didn't have more space to do more business. So in January, Romanova and her husband opened this business, and let me tell you, they have some amazing croissants. Do you like croissants, Sarah?
I do, but I like croissants with stuff in them.
Well, you can stuff things on it. Yeah, they have a pear tart. It's amazing. A mango passion fruit mousse cake. Wow.
Oh, that sounds good.
And a honey cake that Anna get to try.
I did get to try it.
Wait a minute. Why did you get to try it and I didn't get to try it?
You were not the office.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
so sorry.
Yikes, called out.
So these remind me a lot of just a really classic Eastern European pastry, which definitely makes sense with her Russian roots. These are elegant. They're beautiful. Everything is scratch made. We're talking about a fluffy sponge on this honey cake, very precise layers that you would see Mary Berry comment on if you were watching Great British Baking Show. Absolutely delicious. And just kind of that level of perfection that you don't always see with the variety of pastries that you have at this place. So they're making so many different types of things. Some of them are illusions. So the pear tart, for instance, looks like a pear and it's very, very beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at this.
I'm looking over Imelda's shoulder at dallasnews.com/food, where you can find her story about this European bakery. And that pear tart, you're so right, Anna. It looks like the pear that is in my kids' play kitchen. It's that bright green color. And then there's a lemon tart next to it or something like that. And then maybe, what's that other one, Imelda?
It's a mango passion fruit tart.
Well, I'm totally sold on this place. It looks delicious.
They 100% are using fresh juices and everything like that. They're also only using European butter. It was something that we talked about just really with this story because Imelda had dropped in. It was that they used 82% butter.
Yeah, and I was like, why? what is that?
And she was like, I feel like maybe baking people would know. And I was like, I think baking people do know, but for our purposes, they have a higher fat content of just butter solids in Europe. And so to have something like this, it means that there's fewer additives, less water and things like that, which means you're really getting that like full fat flavor in it. It sounds gross when you talk about it, but man, it tastes really, really good when you do it that way.
This makes me wonder whether she'll make a pumpkin shaped thing, which is really off season, but y'all go with me. My 4-year-old is turning 5 in late March, and she's going to have a Halloween in March birthday party.
Okay.
What she wanted to actually do was have a costume party and make everyone dress like Elsa from Frozen. And I was like, you can't do that. But you can invite them to dress however they want to, and then we can have a costume party. And she's like, oh, like Halloween. I mean, we are literally like going to have blow up pumpkins in our front yard. We're going to get some sort of dessert that needs to be pumpkin shaped and orange. And we are going trick or treating at 5 of the neighbors' houses. So if anybody out there has pumpkin tips in March, especially dessert related, I'm all ears, because this is a non-traditional 5th birthday party.
As someone who celebrates their half birthday, I fully support this and I think it's great.
Yes.
Lean into eccentricity. The younger you are, the better it is.
Oh, do you celebrate like the half birthday?
Yeah.
When is this?
In July, because my birthday's in January.
Okay.
And it started when I was younger because this is so sad. My dog died on my birthday when I was younger.
No.
Oh, Anna,
I'm so sorry.
I was like, I didn't want to celebrate it. I was like 10.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, we'll do a summer party instead.
They were like, are you going to be fine in 6 months? Because you should wait.
Yeah, so I to this day, I still get people who text me for my half birthday. And now I celebrate both, though, because it's weird to celebrate your half
No,
birthday.
but then you get 2. Like, you're just doing the math better than the rest of us.
I want the pear tart.
You want that for your
Okay,
half
you
birthday?
got it.
Yeah.
Because your real birthday passed, and we don't care about your real birthday, as we've already established. So we're going to do something awesome for you in July.
Pears are my favorite fruit. So that one was the most eye-catching from RT Bakery.
Yes.
by
I feel
far.
like pears are nobody's favorite fruit, so that also makes you unique.
I don't like pears either.
Why?
Because my grandmother had a lot of trees. I mean, we had the floor full of pears. So I ate my quote of pears for life. Yeah, when I was a child.
But they were like good pears.
Yeah, but there were a lot.
Anna is moving into grandma's house.
So you can find stories on all of these, except for, the pear tangent, by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your favorite sandwiches in town.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you. Whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable, no place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we're going to delve into the world of judging food competitions, but also talking about sandwiches. First, a quick reminder that giving our podcast a good review helps other people find it. So if you like it, please say so. And if you don't, you can skip that part.
I think we're a 5-star podcast.
Thank you. Anyways, sorry.
Have you put your 5 stars in our podcast?
No, yeah, if you see an anonymous review come up, it might be me. Like lots of compliments to the outfits of the women on the pod.
It's called stuffing the ballot.
I know. No, I wouldn't do it, y'all. I think this is world-class stuff.
Anyways, so the topic of sandwiches comes to us from Claire, our team member who is on parental leave. The Dallas Morning News food team sends a few emails a week, and Claire had a call out in one of her last ones before she took her leave about sandwiches. And that's basically because when you're pregnant, you're not really supposed to be eating deli meat unless it's been like mildly heated up, which sounds gross when you describe it, and it sounds gross when you taste it.
Yeah.
We picked a couple reader favorites for this because there were actually so many of them. Imelda, can you kick us off?
Sure. Michael says to check out La Hechicera Tortas. And he says, the original is in Grand Prairie. There is also one in Arlington and a few others. Perfect rolls and amazing tasty, unique sandwiches with tons of flavor. I don't know any place with this unique of a sandwich menu, and there are endless options. Michael, I agree with you. Tortas are the best. And you know what? We can have them cold or hot with a lot of different ingredients.
So tortas was the topic for one of your DFW Sabores stories about Mexico City. And the number one thing that you said about them is that they're versatile. The thing that changes about them is based on the shape of the bread. They have different names, which I love. And we don't really do that kind of intricacy in American sandwiches, but they do it in Europe. They do it in Mexico and other places. And I just like that kind of thing where it's like suddenly the thing with the exact same toppings on it is something else because the bread's in a circle.
Yeah, true. So I have some recommendations also. Yeah, La Hechicera is great. And El Rincón del DF is on Walnut Street. And they call themselves La Capital de la Torta. Torta capital. So it's a huge deal. Acá Las Tortas is in Ward Street. And Torteria Insurgentes, they also have great tortas. I recommend you the most classical one is the Milanesa torta. That is breaded beef with lettuce and tomato. And you can put cheese on it. And it's absolutely great.
Okay, so it sounds a little bit like a chicken fried steak. And when I lived in Austria, they have something called the Schnitzel Simmel. And when they have extra Wiener Schnitzel, they put it into bread and do it the exact same way. And I just think it's fascinating that so many cultures are like chicken fried steak sandwiches.
We can make a taste of everyone available. I mean,
I would like that. Also,
Yeah.
we could try the one at Keller's that Anna's boyfriend tried recently because none of us have ever ordered that.
It was really good.
I know. That one makes me laugh. I've got a sandwich. Can I go?
Yes.
This is from Dave Culwell, a Dallas Morning News reader and notably the owner of Burger Schmurger. He writes, everyone will tell you Jimmy's, and they're not wrong. Jimmy's is great. The meatball sub, the Italian beef, etc. But Good Friend package has great sandwiches, all of them. At Good Friend, he likes the turkey and he adds avocado and bacon. And I think those are good tips, Dave. Also, Dave is a good person to ask about sandwiches because he makes what I believe to be one of the best smash burgers in Dallas. He serves them today at High Fives in East Dallas. And as you've read on dallasnews.com/food, Dave is opening a Burger Schmurger kind of near the Dallas Arboretum. And I think that's expected soon.
So I pulled one too. It's from Alfonso, and he actually sent in 3 that were very detailed, but this one was my favorite because I get to use an accent with it.
Whoa.
And he said, the patty melt at the Beef House in Garland, a 70s trip back in time greasy spoon complete with what'll it be, hun? Waitress.
There it is.
So I could act. Their patty melt with fresh cut fries with the skins on is about as good as it gets for a patty melt, although Cindy's on Central does a pretty good rendition of the patty melt with fries as well. But the Beef House, you have to see it to believe it. It's a time traveling throwback. You know, I love a patty melt, so this was implicit bias when I chose this one. This was about me. I did try the patty melt at Goodwin's over the weekend on Greenville Avenue. What was unexpected was this. Yes, it was served on bread, not a bun. Sometimes people put them on a bun, and I'm like, that's not a patty melt, that's just a double cheeseburger. This was served in a sauce. It had brown sauce, so it was cut in half diagonally, put face down, so they were both standing up like little triangles, and then it was in a sauce that I would say is akin to the voodoo sauce at Neighborhood Services.
Okay.
It was very delicious. It was a beautiful warm day, and I felt a little like overheated after eating this because I think I would really like this in the dead of winter, not when it's like pushing 75 on a Saturday morning.
no.
Now, was it soggy because of the sauce?
It surprisingly was not soggy at all. It really was so tasty. And so I was like, I'm not trying to give the sandwich a hard time. I miscalculated how overheated I would get. You know, the meat sweats are real, and we need to talk about them more.
I'd love to. I mean, every time I eat barbecue, it's a sweaty situation.
I just want to mention something that makes me sad. So kind of a downer.
No.
But I loved Great American Hero. I loved when it had moved closer to me in East Dallas from its longtime Oak Lawn location that is now a Shug's Bagels. Everything was made from scratch, and it had different combos, and I could kind of mix and match, and I like the versatility. So, you know, pour some out.
There isn't a Great American Hero anymore, but its originating owner's brother still runs sub shops around Dallas. So Great American Hero is sort of related in sibling to the Great Outdoors. And if anybody knows the Great Outdoors, there are still 6 of them.
Is the family last name Great?
It's not. Oh, I wish. Man, that would be really great.
That'd be a missed opportunity.
I know. No, it's the Oliveri brothers. And I was going to mention the Great Outdoors as a good sub shop. And one of my favorite quotes of the last couple of months is in an old Dallas Morning News archives story about the Great Outdoors opening. The owner, who's from New Jersey, said that Dallasites, once they understood that a submarine sandwich was not a sandwich eaten underwater, that they could get with this newfangled sub sandwich idea. And I'm just like, come on, Dallas. All right. I'm so glad we've gotten past that.
I also really like versatility, so I will always do a shout out for the Eatsy sandwich bar because I don't get the same thing every time I go. I mix and match and I try new things. The thing that I want to do, which I'm actually sure they would probably let me do at Eatsy's, is grab the pimento cheese out of the cold section and have them go stick it on the sandwich and then grill it.
Yeah.
I really like a pimento cheese grilled cheese, and I think that is hard to find.
Yeah, agree. That sounds delicious.
I love the sandwiches in the Crafty Irishman.
Oh.
And you know what? Because sometimes I miss the holidays. So when I miss Thanksgiving, they have a good Monte Cristo sandwiches with turkey and raspberry. It's like Thanksgiving. I love it.
I think that combination on a
Yeah.
sandwich makes so much sense, Imelda.
Yeah.
I like it too.
And when you accompany with a beer or something, it's great. I like it. What about you, Sarah?
I'm actually a fast food Jimmy John's person. I said that weird. Jimmy John's. Why did I say it like that?
Accent.
Say it with your heart, Sarah.
Just wanted to really drive it home.
Jimmy John.
There you go. It kind of makes Jimmy John sound sexy, which it needs a little bit, in my opinion, because it's,
Does it?
you know, sub so fast you'll freak is, you know, not.
Oh.
Anyway, I like the Beach Club. I like any sandwich with avocado on it.
Julie, what's yours?
I'm glad somebody mentioned Cindy's because I love their Reuben, but I just have to send out some love to the bacon, egg, and cheese at Waffle House. I'm sorry, I talk about cheap and just like delicious, like the best hangover food in the world.
They might be charging you $1 extra right now for the egg on that bacon, egg, and cheese, though.
I do think there's somebody listening who's yelling Jersey Mike's into their phone or into their car radio, and I hear you.
And I will say, we did have a Jersey Mike's or two submission from our reader favorites. So you can actually read a story about this with your favorite sandwiches in DFW by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We really do love when you send us recommendations, so keep them coming and email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com if we missed any of your favorite sandwiches. So guys, I have to tell y'all about something that I did last week. It involved lawyers.
Oh my God.
That's not good.
Except that this was.
Oh, okay.
Lawyers, one, want you to know that they can have fun.
They do.
They do.
I don't know.
They can, at least at a Texas-founded firm, Vinson & Elkins. This isn't an advertisement for them, but I judged their chili cook-off, and it was so much fun.
Wow.
Wait, you judged attorneys cooking chili.
Yes, so they've been doing this since 2000. So this was the 25th year. It became firm-wide about 3 years ago. So they fly people in
No.
from across the country that have already had regional chili cook-offs. They cannot accept international ones because the FDA is really just a buzzkill because they have to test all of the meat going over like
Anna,
different
this is wild.
It's very fun. So you're talking about people who maybe brought a frozen container of chili through a security checkpoint at an airport, or maybe overnighted it frozen from San Francisco or New York or other places. This started in the Houston office. The Dallas office won last year. So whoever wins gets to host it, which is how I got involved in the first place.
Okay.
Wow. I have a lot of questions about this. So is this only chili every year, or do they change like dishes or what?
It's only chili every single year. And you saw, you know, a range of interpretations. It was all blind judged, and it was really fun. I was not a solo judge, though.
Where are they at on beans?
We were a little bit of purists. So G. Kang, who is the executive chef over a restaurant group that includes like Dakota's Steakhouse.
Yep.
And
Sloan's Corner.
he was part of it. And then a former partner in the law firm who's moved in-house and is a Texan himself was part of this. And beans didn't fly well. You know, you had a lot of Texans for this one. So the very first one, though, I unsheathed its crock pot top. It was chunks of sweet potato.
Big or small?
They were big enough. I'm trying to think. The size of a piece of Trident gum is what's coming to mind.
That works. That totally works.
So specific, but that's what the size was.
Wow, I've never had chili with sweet potatoes.
San Francisco, who was responsible for this, won the first ever chili cook-off when it was made firm-wide, which the Texans, I think, took very personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
So last year, Dallas won. The winner this year was the Dallas office again.
Oh, right.
Yes.
So I'm obviously angling to judge again next year. But what I said and my feedback for this chili was this smacks of gumbo. It wasn't made with a roux, but there were diced green peppers in it. It was really good. It still had the right chili flavor to it, but it was innovative and creative and different.
This is so interesting because those were all award winners that ended up here in Dallas. Like that sweet potato chili was everybody's favorite someplace else.
This was my biggest takeaway is you have to be very, very studious and methodical when you are judging something like this. This was not my first time to judge something, but it's a little bit like peer editing in high school with people's papers. It's important to read through the whole thing first before you ever make an edit. So I think it's important to taste everything before you start ranking and saying this is the best in my head. You need to taste everything at least 3 times. That means that you need to have room to eat a lot of chili.
That's a lot of chili.
Number one pitfall, nothing that will surprise you. One, some of them were too fatty, which is hard because with a chili, you probably do want to use 80-20 beef. You do need to skim. The next one, people did not individually season the meat. They were seasoning the sauce around it, but not the meat. 3, definitely were cooking it too hard. So the beef, if it was chunkier for the most part in this competition, was really tough. You also want to be careful not to veer into sloppy Joe territory. And that's hard with chili, especially if you're using brisket meat. And so there were some that I'm like, this would be great on a sandwich, which you shouldn't say about chili.
No, and I think one of the pitfalls of a crock pot, if that was the vessel with which to keep it warm, is that the longer you warm it, the less liquid you get.
I think there's probably a science element to this. My biggest comment, though, I was like, all of these do taste like chilies, not meat soup, because sometimes you get that. It's a little like the salsas that you're like, that's just marinara, not salsa.
Yep.
Anna, you sound like an expert. How many competitions have you judged?
Officially, this was the only one. I have been a consultant on different ones. I've attended many chili cook-offs. I've judged other types of competition, though. And I just always want it to come across as consistent and fair.
Yeah.
See, here's what I'm learning is that if you, the listener, are entering a chili cook-off, you should call Anna, and her number is 512. Just kidding. She got tips.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us next week where we'll be diving into the topic of COVID because, again, if you can't believe it, it's already been 5 years. Stay up to date with the food team stories at dallasnews.com/food and listen to all of our episodes by following Eat, Drink, DFW wherever you find your podcasts. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.